Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. We are going to dive right into your reading and take a look at the energy and see what's going on, see what's up, see what's not up. For Pisces, please, Spirit, just keep in mind this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest, all right? Here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit, what do you have for Pisces? What does Pisces need to know right now? What does Pisces need to know right now? Okay. By the book, flipped and then flipped back. So I have a feeling that someone has like a strategy or a plan. There's somebody that typically goes by the book. There's somebody who I feel like they are almost predictable in nature. Or they're very methodical. They have a methodology. Like for some of you, you may know, oh, this is how this person always enters into my life, or this is what it's always like every time this person comes back around, or this is what it's always like when someone develops an interest in me and then, tries to come toward me. There's just this by the book energy. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of know what to expect here. Like even if it's not specifically, it's kind of like, oh, I'm familiar with this routine, whatever this is, okay? It's just the vibe that I'm getting, all right? But Pisces, I feel like who you're dealing with also is someone who is more maybe logical, analytical, predictable, or, by the book than you are. I feel like you're more of a free spirit. You can kind of go with the flow. You're a little bit more spontaneous, possibly. There's this flexible card on the bottom of the deck, and I feel like this energy of just like you are kind of going with the flow, or things are just sort of happening in your life. You're sort of open to what is trying to come towards you. And I feel like who you're dealing with is trying to come towards you. And they are... I don't know, more rigid, or I just keep getting predictable. Like, it's like you can see it coming, or what's happening, or, the writing is on the wall kind of a thing of just like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit here and let them work it out, or let them come toward me, or, this could even be energetically where you feel like you start to feel somebody is coming towards you, then you start to see the signs and synchronicities, and then it's just something where it's like, oh, okay, I know what's happening here. I don't know how to describe it. Or it's like someone that does little things here, and then another little thing here, and another little thing here, and they're really like coming towards you. I don't know. Take it for how it resonates. I feel like it's going to be different for everyone, or the exact, ingredients of the recipe are going to be different for everyone, but it's like a vibe that you're familiar with, or like a pattern or something that you see, that And I think you're just trying to stay flexible in the eye of it, kind of waiting for it to arrive, or responding to it. Yeah, it's almost an energy too of like I getting more information. I feel like there is someone who, this yang energy, what is really being highlighted to me about it is how this is just like one person's hands with this ball coming out of it. And it's kind of, yang is masculine energy. It's the energy of taking action. And so it's kind of giving me this energy of someone who tries to control things, or makes things happen, or feels like it's all in their hands. They're not, co-creating with the universe. It's like they are making it happen. They are doing it. They, are kind of like taking control, or I don't know. And this is a past kind of energy. And it feels like they did take action, and they took action without the help of a higher power, or they took it into their own hands, or it's someone that it's like there's a lack of depth in this yang energy. It's like, okay, taking action is one part of something. Like, let's say, I'm trying to think of a goal that you would set, right? Taking action is part of making that goal come to life, but it isn't the only thing. There's subtlety. We have to have a balance in our yin and our yang energy. We have to also be open to receiving. We have to also, be soft and not insist on having our own way. Yang energy, because it's an action-taking energy, it sort of does insist on having its own way. I mean, it's setting the course, it's setting the pace, it's setting the tone. It's kind of creating on its own, just by the vehicle of taking action. There's no subtlety in it. There's no give and take to it. You know what I mean? It's all just take, or, possibly give. And so then there's this energy of not for you, which it almost feels like someone that takes something personally. It's like, maybe I'm trying to explain to you that it is really nice that, you've done X, Y, and Z, but like, what I'm really looking for, what I really need is this. And it's like someone who takes that personally and is like, oh, you think I'm not doing a good job? Oh, you don't want what I have to offer you. It's like, no, I didn't say any of that. It's that I'm saying that I have a need and it's not being met. And it's not that I'm ungrateful for everything that you are doing or everything that you are. I am grateful for that. But in order for this to proceed, I have to also feel comfortable about this. And there's kind of this, look at all I'm giving you, look at all I've created, look at all I've done. It's like we're not hearing each other. We're not on the same page. We're not conveying, we're not, I really don't know how to explain it. It's interesting because the example that's coming to me is my mother, and how my mom was, she put a really good roof over my head, made sure I was in like the best school districts, made sure, that I was fed every day, and made sure that I like had what I needed. But, she was emotionally neglectful. She was very critical and harsh and difficult, and kind of really undermined my own, sense of security and stability and confidence all of the time. And so it's like, yeah, on the one hand, she was giving me all these things that could indicate that she was a good mother, or that, she was doing her job, right? But the things that I needed, she completely withheld or didn't do, or did the opposite. And then when I would try to explain to her that like I needed these things, she would say, you ungrateful brat, look at everything I'm doing for you. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to say that it's to that extreme or that it's like that. But there's just this sense of, this is what I have to offer you. This is what I have to give. This is what I think my role or my job is. And if you come to me and you say that your need isn't being met, and I'm giving you everything that I feel like I have to give, then I'm going to say to you, and then it's like somebody that their initial reaction to that is, you're not grateful for what I'm giving you, or I must not be the person for you because I'm giving you everything that I have to give, and it's not enough for you. And it's like, I think there's almost this energy of reactionary kind of, this, you're criticizing me, or you're It's like, let me just turn around and kind of blame it on you, or let me take this personally, or let me react, or let me respond to that from a place of not really thinking it through, or not even really trying to put myself in your shoes and understand where you're coming from. I don't know, something on that level. And then you have the energy of the higher power, which is like our intuition and our connection with the higher power. And it's like, I feel as though this is an energy that's de-accelerating. Slowing down. Do you know what I'm saying? It reached this climax. It got very fiery. It got very like conflict, drama, that kind of energy, and it was sort of reactionary. And then it's like, as it's kind of deflated, or as some of the emotional charge has sort of been able to dissipate, and we're actually thinking about what was said, and we're understanding that maybe we were not hearing it, we were so sensitive to it, or so it may have been a trigger for us. And so then there's this energy of, as I have calmed down, that I can get in touch with, a higher version of myself, or a higher and better version of myself, or my intuition. And I can understand now what you were trying to say. You were trying to say that we were not co-creating, that I was kind of having it my way, and that you were not getting your needs met. And even though I felt like I was giving you so much, I wasn't giving you what you needed. And so I didn't need to give all these other things that I was giving that really wasn't what was important to you. What was important to you was getting your needs met. And had I just listened to what you were saying and thought about it and attempted to be able to meet your needs, maybe all of this could have been calmer, if I would have just let wiser heads prevail. Do you know what I mean? If I hadn't taken it so personally. So I don't know, take that as it resonates, but it feels like there was a bit of like a confrontational energy. It's like trying to have that difficult conversation of like, what are we? Or, you know what I mean? Where it's all just sort of a little bit emotionally charged, and it's really somebody trying to say, I'd like to see this be more committed, or I'd like to see this, I would like to feel like, I'm not on the edge here, or that like there is some stability or security behind what we're creating and what we're doing here. And it's like just sort of being on different pages and not being able to hear each other in a way. Yeah, so I feel like this is something that feels like it's getting another chance right here in the current moment. There's still distance here between this owl and this cheetah. And it feels like, I feel like neither the owl nor the cheetah really like the distance between them, but I feel like this is where we are. And so, but there is this desire there's this egg here, and it's like, there's this desire for them to come together and be able to explore what is possible, the potential of this that, exists, but hasn't, really come to life yet. It hasn't really been fully explored yet. So there's almost this energy of, there's a desire to co-create. There's a desire now to sort of say, okay, like I hear you now, like I understand now what you were saying. You want to create this thing together. You don't just want me to be determining what direction this goes and be making all the decisions for both of us. You want to work together to share a vision and to share a plan and to make it something that we both create and collaborate on together. Not just like, I have it my way, you have it your way, fine, kind of energy. So we're gonna get into it, but you know, I'm not really like, I still feel the distance here. But what's interesting is you have this treasure island and you have this, you know, gold chest on the back of a sea turtle. Sea turtles have been coming up so much for me lately, like in real life. Very interesting. I have like actually seen sea turtles recently. I don't know. So maybe for some of you, this is a sign or a synchronicity, right? A sea turtle. In Florida, we even have like sea turtle license plates. It's called Save the Turtles. I always have a Save the Turtle license plate. But this is like, oh, how do I even... It's like, it feels like what is possible. It feels like the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups with all this water and with these literal, the gold in the treasure chest. It feels like, okay, you know, all rivers lead to the ocean, but they don't all get there the same way. And, you know, sometimes it is necessary for us to... I don't want to say that this whole thing was necessary because truthfully, I feel like it wasn't. But it's the way you got there. You know, it doesn't mean that it's less valid or that it's not as good or that, you know, you should have done it another way or they should have done something different. It's none of those things. You know, really, there are no mistakes. There are just lessons. And so as long as we can learn the lesson and come back together and figure it out together, from there, you know, we can start over from a different place with a different understanding. You know, we still have a chance at having it all, at, you know, discovering what is in the egg, what is possible, what the potential actually is. And it feels like, you know, because this treasure chest is on the back of a turtle, this may have taken some time for it to come together or for you to have this opportunity. Oh, let's go deeper, shall we? For Pisces, please, Spirit, for Pisces. Wow. Okay, so Pisces, you have helplessness on the bottom of the deck, and I felt that in this energy. It's kind of like, I feel like there's an energy of helplessness on both sides of that coin. Kind of like, well, if what I'm giving you isn't enough, then there's nothing else I can do because I'm giving you everything that I have. And on the other person's side, it's like, gosh, I really would just love to accept what you're giving me and let that be enough, or let that be what I need, but it isn't, and I'm feeling the need to communicate something to you, and it's something that I can't fix for myself or I can't do for myself. Like it's something that either I need you to do or I need us to work together to do. And so it's like both parties sort of, it's like, even though I don't really want to disengage from you, we're disengaging from each other because neither one of us can fix what is wrong. But then there's this immediate sadness. There's this immediate, I actually with this card get this sense of there's a hole in the middle of me where you used to be. Or like, I'm feeling for sure your absence, the absence of your presence in my life. Like what was good, what was making me happy is gone. And now I'm just left with the sadness. And it could also be someone who was kind of low-key sad or, just low-key not really happy in their life before you came along, and then you came in and they were happy, and then the happiness goes, and what they were okay with before, they're no longer okay with, because they now know what it felt like to be happy and whole and not missing this piece. You know, I feel like Pisces, there's an energy, the blue and the white always makes me think of the high priestess, right? And so there's this energy of like, not only maybe did you walk away, or did the tie kind of sever here physically and in like the presence of each other, but there's a detachment energy, which is like, I'm no longer even attached to the outcome. Like, I'm not even trying to make this work anymore. This could be no contact. Also, because it can be an energy of like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you're doing. I'm curious about it. I want to know where you are. I want to know what you're doing. And, you know, curiosity can be insatiable. Like, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but like, you know, before we had Google, right? Now that we have Google, it's like, just Google that shit, you know? But, you know, before we had Google, and you'd be watching a movie and you'd be like, I recognize this actor or this actress from somewhere. And you'd be watching and it would be driving you crazy. It would be hard for you to even focus on enjoying the movie that was in front of you, because the whole time you'd be like, man, I know this person from somewhere. And everybody felt that way. And it was like on the tip of their tongue, but nobody could think of it. And it just made it so you couldn't be fully present in the moment. You couldn't relax into the movie, because it was like your brain was constantly trying to place this person. Now, of course, all we have to do is Google the movie, look at the cast, click on the button, and see what other movies that person was in. You know what I mean? It's so easy for us now. But, you know, when we can't just Google it, and, you know, when you have been with someone and you intimately know through talking to them on a regular basis where they are, what they're doing, what they're thinking about, what they're working toward, what their future plans are, and you don't know those things because there's been this detachment, Googling isn't going to help you. And, you know, now that we do have this like instant gratification always at our fingertips, when we're dealing with something where we don't have that, where we can't just Google it and be like, you know, how is Pisces person right now? I mean, you probably could put it in ChatGPT and you would get an answer. But if you can't just Google it, and you can't just look, and you can't just know, and you can't just pick up the phone and call a friend and be like, oh, how is that person doing? Or, you know, go on their Instagram and see a really recent post or something. Even that's not going to tell you, because that doesn't know their future plans unless it's a post about their future plans. But, you know, it's kind of like, there's just this awareness that like there's more that I don't know about you now than that I do know about you. And I miss you. I want to know. I'm curious. I have this like insatiable place within me that, you know, wants to know what my chances are, or that just misses you. That maybe even feels more helpless now than I did in that conversation. Because I don't even know, like, at least then we were conversing. Now I don't even know, if I called you, would you be okay to hear from me? Are you with somebody else? Like, now it's so complicated. Now my sense of helplessness is deeper and longer lasting, and, you know, has bigger kind of ramifications for the future and what is possible. There's a heavy focus on the distance here between the two of you. Maybe physical distance, but it could just also be like time and space since you've last spoken. You have this energy of forgiveness and hope. For some reason, these two cards together are giving me Easter. So I don't know if something happened around Easter. I think Easter was in the beginning of April this year. All my months are running together right now. So I don't know if that was like an important time or if that's like a specific thing or, you know, I don't know. But anyway, or maybe it's like their birthday or your birthday or I have no idea. But then there's this energy of, yeah, oh wow, oh my God. It just came to me like hardcore that Easter is about a rebirth, you know, it's about death and rebirth. Wow. It almost feels to me like this conversation where someone is asking for forgiveness and someone else is saying to them, you've already been forgiven. I already forgave you. Like you don't have to ask for that. And then there's hope. Somehow this is coming across to me as unrelated but related. So like it's giving me, it's like this whole thing of giving me Easter, and what I'm really supposed to get is death and rebirth. It's giving me like, they could text you about like, you know, I still have your sweatshirt or something, and then you say, oh, amazing, I'll stop by and pick it up, or can you meet me here and give it to me? Like, you know that there's something that happens in that transaction or in that conversation, even though it's not about like, should we get back together, or I miss you, or I'm sad without you. There is connection, and there is, you don't hate me, and you're not afraid of me, and you are willing to see me. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that specific of an example, but that's just one of many examples. But it's like, I'm going to do something unrelated, and that is giving this person hope that there is a chance to co-create. They're getting closer, actually. Like, all I'm focusing on is the distance here, but I'm getting, this is closer. Okay, I don't know. Let me get some, I pulled some message cards and I put 2 decks together, and we're gonna see what we have here. For Pisces, I'm gonna take as many as want to come out here, but keep in mind that one of these may be for you, all of these may be for you, some of these may be for you. That they don't all have to relate to your story. This is a general message, right? Okay, we had a couple flippers. I just want to make sure that I get them. All right. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, interesting, you're getting, I've isolated all my life. So this could be like someone who their default setting is like, okay, fine, I'll just be by myself. Like, it's not that hard for me. It's not that bad. Like, I don't need constant connection or something. All right, you're getting, I view your profile page, but not in a creepy way. We share a telepathic bond. Have you already moved on? I started to fear how much I felt I needed you. You deserved so much more than I could give you at the time. I expected you to chase me. Instead, you respected me, and that confused me. And did I already read, I was afraid of what others may think? And then, of course, you have 1111 there in the center. Some of you may be seeing 1111 or 111 or ones. Or even, what the heck? I just got pennies. I don't know if that's like pennies on the sidewalk or what, but like, I just got the energy of pennies. I also got like pennies from heaven or something. I don't know what that is. Anyway, you have this energy of you know, I got this so hardcore in the reading. I got this energy of someone, they don't even know if you're seeing someone else, if you're dating at all. Like, they just don't know what your relationship status is. I feel like this person feels, see, they're even saying here, you deserve so much more than I could give you at the time. They're definitely starting to understand what you wanted and why you wanted it, and why you were not satisfied with what they were giving you. And again, I'm coming back around to this energy that I have been circling around day after day now for at least a week, of this energy of, I'm getting it's longer than a week. But it's like, this is what most people want from me. So when I was giving you what I always give and it wasn't enough for you, I wasn't in an energy where I could hear what you were actually saying you needed and why. I was just like, oh my gosh, you want, like, other people are satisfied with this, you want more than that? Or, you know, it's like, it was like actually even confronting an insecurity that I had within me, that I wasn't enough. It's like this person heard Russian and you were speaking English. Like, I cannot even describe this to you, but it is just like, I'm telling you that I want to spend more time with you, and you're telling me that you don't have any more money to spend on me, that you're going broke dating me. And it's like, I don't care if you take me out to the nicest place. I actually just would be content Netflixing and chilling. I just want your undivided attention and your full presence in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or like, I just want a commitment. I don't need a bunch of fancy dates. Like, we've been dating for months now, and now I don't want to keep going out and falling in love with a lifestyle and with a person and all this stuff. I want to know that this is going somewhere, that we're investing in each other, and that we're investing in this connection, and that it's safe for me to be emotionally intimate with you, and it's safe for me to think that this is growing and going somewhere. And I feel like this person was kind of like, look, I'm just giving you what I have to give, you know? But you have this energy of, I expected you to chase me. Instead, you respected me, and that confused me. This person is used to dealing with kind of, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to judge anybody or anything like that, but like low vibe people that are actually seeking validation and attachment, rather than like whole people that have really worked on themselves and are like showing up on a deep spiritual level to them. I would say, because it seems like they are used to dealing with people that need like kind of like superficial things or material world things. That doesn't have to be money. It could be like doing this job for me, or picking this up for me, or dropping this off for me, or taking care of this for me, or whatever. And they may not have been prepared for an emotional connection or a spiritual connection. And it may have really confused them, because they're like, I'm showing up for you in the material world, and that's not enough. And you're like, no, because I work in the world of the emotional and the spiritual. Like, the material world is the last place that I care about. I mean, and I'm just using that as an example, right? Because you're Pisces. And then it's like, when they say this, I expected you to chase me, this is because people who are seeking validation and who are developing attachments tend to chase. Because they have assigned this person their happiness that they cannot live without. That's an attachment. That's a codependency. That's not love. But it feels like love. It looks like love, but that's not what that is. And it actually comes from a place of wounding and not, it's an opportunity for us to really realize how we can heal ourselves so that we aren't doing that, But anyway, it's like, that's who they're used to dealing with. And when you're like a high priestess, and someone tells you, fine, well then I guess it's over because I can't give you anything more than what I'm giving you. And you're like, okay, and I can't keep doing this unless I have these emotional or spiritual needs met, or whatever the case may be. Then you say, okay, I respect your answer, and I respect my answer, and I respect that, like, we gave this our best shot and that it didn't work, and that we can't come together on this. And then they walk away and they're like, everyone has always chased me, when I've been like, you don't appreciate what I'm giving you? Well then, slog off, or whatever. And I don't even know, I just said slog off. I have no idea where that came from. And then there's this energy of you're really not going to chase me, because it's kind of like somebody may have thought, oh, we're entering this phase of the relationship, or, oh, we're going to fight, and then this person is going to be like, I'm sorry I said that, you're doing a great job, like, I'm so grateful for it, da 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 da. And they're going to chase me because they're codependent on me. And you know what I mean? Like, they probably aren't putting those words to it, or even really recognizing that that's what that is, but that's been their experience time and time again. And you didn't do that because you're in a high priestess mode, and because you truly are like, I know what my standard is, I know what I deserve, I know what I'm worth, I know what I need for emotional contentment and long-term stability. And if they can't offer it to me, then that sucks, and I'm sad about it, but I respect it, and I respect myself for having standards, and for knowing my worth and my value, and for not compromising it. So you're not chasing them. And then they're like, wait, you're not behind me, you're not chasing me, this isn't part of the relationship dance, you're not, like, wait, this is really over, wait, what's happening here? And I think this person started kind of replaying things, like, I'm getting this real rewind energy of like, wow, and they're having some major moments of enlightenment. Like, for example, I've isolated my whole life. They may be realizing how being independent and being single has become like a crutch, and that maybe they are a bit avoidant, that maybe they are, a bit quick to run, because of course it's easier to be by yourself than it is to be in a connection. You only have to worry about yourself. Like, you're not, worrying about this connection and what they're thinking and what they're doing and what's going on. All you have to do is worry about yourself and where you have to be at what time, and have you eaten, have you gotten enough sleep, like, so there's just this energy of some major realizations hitting this person, including that they actually were starting to fear how much they felt they needed to be around you, or how I feel this energy over here with this helplessness and this sadness, that you were their happiness, and that they, at the time, they just felt like, there's no reserve that I can reach into, that I can give you what you're asking for. And so they're starting to kind of look at it, and they're starting to realize that, like, oh wow, I was giving you 5% of me. I was giving you, what was easy for me, what was convenient for me. Like, I misplayed this hand so hardcore because I didn't realize that I was playing with a high caliber person. Like, I didn't realize I was playing with the Queen of Pentacles or the Empress, And so I was only giving what I was giving, what I'd always given. And you deserved more than that, I think this person I view your profile page, but not in a creepy way. I do think that they are very curious about you and where you're at and what's going on. I don't think that they are creepy. I do think that they are someone who really does have feelings for you, and really does long to be close to you. I think part of looking at your page is just the feeling of being close to you, or even the feeling that they get when they look at your face. There is like oxytocin that is released for someone when they're looking at the face of someone that they care about. But I also think they're trying to gain as much information as they can about coming back around. And I feel they do send you messages, and I feel like they do kind of receive messages. It's interesting. What I'm getting is somebody who's constantly putting their energy towards you, or you're always sort of there on their mind or in their world or hanging around. And I feel like this energy with you of detaching, of kind of stepping away from sort of letting that energy be in your life, like letting that energy kind of exist in your space. And so there's a discomfort there for this person of, not having that. Oh no, it's still burning. I was like, whoa. All right. Let's see what Ali Man Tarot has for us. I love this deck because all these cards are from different decks. They're all different. So you can really get some different messages. You have the Fool card, but in this deck it's called Misero. Somebody is misero over you, Pisces. So you have the Seven of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, that rhymes, a card that's just clouds, and a card that is kind of like a back alley, and it says, to the alley, Hotel B. There's a person with a mask up here. And I'll tell you, the vibe that I'm getting is that there is this attempt on this person's part to sort of just get out of there alive. Like, I feel like a lot of things they said weren't necessarily true. And I feel like a lot of their thoughts are actually, kind of painful, like painful realizations for them. Even their reaction to like what was said, it feels a little hot-headed. Some of you might have been dealing with a fire sign. With the Eight of Pentacles, there's this energy of like not wanting to let go. Like, I just want to put all of my arms around you and hold you in this place. Like, I'm not going to let you go. But with the Two of Pentacles, it's like, I'm not going to let you go while I stand here and wishy-wash my energy between love and fear. When I make up my mind, while I make up my mind, if I'm brave enough to come forward. Some of you may be dealing with an air sign, with this cloud energy, but it's also giving me an energy of space, distance, time, a sense of, I'm not physically holding you, or I don't have, it's like your absence in a card is kind of what it's giving me. It's the same energy of the sadness of, it's like you just evaporated, you're not there, and then this back alley energy, it's like the energy of like trying to calm yourself or like find yourself in a place that is not gonna help you find yourself. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be like the bars or a back alley or anything like that. It's like looking for yourself in all the wrong places, like trying to reconnect with yourself in places where you're not, it's more about escape, not facing yourself, not dealing with your shadow side, than it is about actually standing there and facing yourself. There's no mirror in this card. There is a woman wearing a mask though, and it's like all these arrows, and it can even be like going out to drink with your friends and, having your friends give you advice. Well, that's that's what works for them. That doesn't mean that that is actually what's going to work for you, or that that's going to have the effect that you're looking for on you. And sometimes it can be even more confusing, because especially, you know, a lot of guys have friends that are like, oh man, you dumped your girl, you got in a fight, that sucks, drink it off, drink some more, we got to go out with this person. Like, I don't know, I read recently Dolly Alderson's Good Material, which is like a breakup through a male perspective. And that's how his buddies were. They were like, all right, let's go out drinking. Who's in a group chat, you know? That's the answer for some people. And it's like, you're not going to get closer to where you need to get through those exercises or through this place that you're choosing. And it's like, you're also not going to get closer to the answer by trying to hold on to something while you go through whatever it is that you need to go through in order to find the courage to choose this wholeheartedly and bravely and courageously. All you're doing is like squeezing the lifeblood out of the connection. But this person's miserable. They're miserable. They made a decision that wasn't in alignment with them and what they felt and what they thought at the time. And the Seven of Swords is always an opportunity for us to heal and to get closer to ourselves. You know, it's through these ways that we sabotage ourselves and that we deceive ourselves, that when we lean into it and we say, where is this coming from? Like, what is the source of this behavior? That is when we get the greatest insight into ourselves. So it's like, yeah, this person kind of ghosted or walked away from the connection, but it really was their opportunity to kind of find themselves, or to kind of figure out what they needed to become or do, or even that they had feelings that they were running from or trying to escape from. But it's kind of like what it triggered in them was this, like, I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to hold on to this telepathic bond, and I'm going to constantly be sending you energy and be thinking about you and not really let you move on while I kind of sort this out, while I sort of figure this out. And it's not working, you know, it's like, it's just not working. Okay, so you have the Eight of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles here. Wow, with the Star card on the bottom of the deck. So for me, the Page of Pentacles is a spiritual lesson. This card has always been this. It hasn't always been this for me, but I've gone through a lot of phases where I have meditated on tarot cards and then been left with like really specific meanings of cards that are, I think, kind of unique to me. But the Page of Pentacles is oftentimes, it is the energy of a spiritual lesson. And I feel like that's what this person has found. Okay. And it's interesting because what this is saying to me is, you got the Star card on the bottom of the deck. This is like, you know, they are now understanding or seeing you as their wish fulfillment, as a very unique and rare person that they have some kind of fated or destined, you know, connection to, where, you know, you are the one that they want. And there is only one you. And it's in the process of diving into, you know, how did I have this person and lose this person? Or how do I get back to this person? Or all of the above. And maybe even some things that I didn't say there. But that it has made this person look at themselves and decide to kind of work on themselves. So you've got the Four of Swords, and then you have the energy of Temperance, the Night Owl, and the Ten of Eyes. The Night Owl is really giving me High Priestess vibes. This feels like this person's healing process. You know, with the Four of Swords here, it's kind of like we haven't been speaking. There's been this distance. You may not know this, but the whole time this person was deep in thought. They were, remember how I said I felt this like super de-escalation? Is de-escalation a word? De-escalate? I think that is a word. And it's like as the emotional charge sort of dissipated in a situation, this person, it has set their mind thinking and they're making progress. See how the sword is not in the same place? You know, it's moving. They're looking at things from a different perspective. They're seeing things. They're making connections. You know, they're learning this spiritual lesson. They're realizing that they mishandled an opportunity with the star, with the person possibly that they always wanted. With the energy of the High Priestess and the energy of the Four Swords here, I feel like there has been little to no communication, if any at all. But this has been a time of great healing and a time with this 10 eyes energy. This to me is a feeling of introspection. It's like where I am not looking outside myself to find the answers or, you know, oh God, I just got a strong feeling and I have no idea how to put it into words. You know, always before with this person, it was a game. Or, you know, it's like I do this and then you do this. It's like checkers or chess or something. Relationships. It's like I make this move because I like you, and then you make this move because you're responding to me and you like me, and that's sending me this signal, and then I'm doing this. And so they were always looking outside themselves to see how what they were doing was being received and reflected back to them. And in your absence, and it feels like you're the only opinion they actually care about, they have no choice but to turn that focus inside themselves because there's no one else that they care what they're thinking. It's like life has lost its interest. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like somebody that considered themselves to be a really good chess player or something, and then their favorite person to play chess with, they had a fight and that person disappeared, and now it's like something that it almost feels like they thought they were really good at or whatever. It's like empty. You know, there's no one else they want to play chess with because no one else is going to challenge them that way. They don't want an easy win. They don't want the same old stuff that they have always had. It's like they want this challenge. There is a song, it's coming through. It's like Easy Love. Oh my God. Chasing Fire. I don't know. Okay, anyway, the thing is they don't, that never satisfied them to begin with, and they don't want it. And I think they're realizing that they were satisfied, and that if they would have stopped acting like that, or if they would have stopped thinking of it as a chess match, and they would have just sat there and looked in their fellow players' eyes and felt their soul and felt their emotion and just sort of let themselves be present instead of focusing on this game, they would have gotten it, and it would have been totally different. And it, you know, that's what the other person was asking. They weren't asking them to make another move on the chessboard. You know, they were like, okay, we played chess. It was really fun. But like, can you put your eyes on me and can we have a real conversation here? And they're like, but wait, I've been playing chess with you. I'm, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. But they're having to look within themselves, and they're having to ask themselves, like, why do I only want to play chess? And why am I only willing to connect with people in this way? And why do I need this buffer of this chess set? Like, why was I unwilling to like just look up and look them in the eye and just get, you know, it's exhausting. You know, I get a sense of exhaustion from this energy of just like, you know, it's hard work. It's hard work to look within and to be honest and to not let ourselves get defensive and to not, you know, focus on how we want things to be and to tell ourselves the convenient lie, you know. But you got the Eight of Wands here on the bottom of the deck, and that's like really giving me this vibe of someone that is like ramping up to come in and communicate again. And, you know, especially because there is a heavy emphasis here on not talking with the High Priestess and the Four of Swords. But with Temperance and the Eight of Wands and the 10 of Eyes, which is a cycle that is completing, I think this person has gotten some insight, and I think that they are kind of looking at this from a much higher level perspective with the High Priestess there. And I think that from the higher level perspective, there's a maturity that didn't exist before. And with Temperance, it's like a desire to come together in the healthiest way possible, which is like a little bit of me and a little bit of you, which I feel like is what was being asked for from the beginning with this yang energy. It's not just about, you know, taking action. It's about the balance between the masculine and the feminine. It's not just about being a good leader and taking action and making the next move and, you know, eliciting the response that you want and having it your way. It is about sharing a vision, sharing a plan, and collaborating to make that happen. And I feel like this person is kind of starting to get it, and they're also starting to understand what it really truly means to come together in a healthy, balanced way with the Temperance energy, because they're healing themselves. And so when we heal ourselves, and especially through the energy of Temperance, we're rebalancing our own internal masculine and feminine energy. And in doing that, we get this appreciation. And especially with the Night Owl here, this person's getting in touch with their inner higher priestess, with their feminine side, with their side that's receptive to messages that are higher, that are coming from their higher and best self. So then they can value more what you have to say. That Misero is coming out again. And then you have the Comforter and the Misero. Oh my God. And you have the Ten of Swords. Man, this person is realizing they turned their back on the Comforter, on the soft place to fall, on the person that was ready to accept them the way that they were. And was abundant and solid and stable and reliable and knew who they were and, you know, was independent and capable. And, you know, this is why the Comforter didn't need fancy dinners. The Comforter can make fancy dinners. Like, look, she even has like a bowl and a cup and a, like, I don't know, like, I'm just, you know, fancy dinners is just an example, but it's like, she didn't need something from the material world. She already has everything from the material world that she needs and wants. She wants you. And that's all you have to be, is you. And just show up as you. We don't need a chessboard. We don't need a game between us. We just need each other. The comfort of our own connection. And the magic of that. And the touch and the feel and the presence of that. And this person, it's like kind of being left with those thoughts is just cutting them up. With the Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck, it's like, whoa, they liked me for me. They didn't need any fanfare. They weren't asking me for all this crap that I was trying to give them. They weren't trying to play a game with me. They were just being authentic and real, and they just wanted to connect with me in an authentic and real way. And I couldn't connect like that. I wasn't comfortable enough with myself. You know, we had that energy over here somewhere. You deserved much more than I could give you at the time. It's cutting them up, literally. Like, it's cutting them up. They're coming to a close with that cycle, though, which is good. Oh. You have the Three of Cups in reverse, the Tower upright, and the Sun. Well, you know, I have to clarify. I'm just feeling guided to clarify the Three of Cups in reverse as well as the Tower. So stick with me, folks. Oh my God. This is heartbreaking. Seriously heartbreaking. Bottom of the deck on this confirmation, you have the Knight of Wands. This is someone who, yeah, the world was their stage. You know, they were owning it. They were navigating life in this way of, I always go from thing that excites me to thing that excites me. And, you know, with the Three of Cups, this is sort of like a superficial good time person. Like, I'm just getting through life, doing what I need to do to have what I need at the time, and going where I'm excited to be. And the world is my stage, and it's all kind of a game, and I'm in command. I say what goes. I mean, look at the body posture and everything about this Knight of Wands. He's like, onward. This is where we're going. This is what's happening. They're not considering anyone else but themselves here. And with the Three of Cups in reverse, it's like the good time ended. You know, their happiness, their ability to enjoy superficially everything. It's like it went out the window. And this person, the Moon and Judgment, it's like they're starting to understand that there was a whole world that was happening here that they weren't even aware of. And part of that entire world is that they were developing deep feelings. Another part of that world is that their subconscious was dictating what was really happening here. You know, this person didn't feel like they were good enough for you, and so they played the game. You know, they couldn't meet you authentically and sit across the table from you and just look you in the eye and be fully present. They had to complicate it, and they had to have this buffer of the chessboard in between you where they were making moves, you know, making decisions. And that choice to do that and to handle this connection that way, it came from their subconscious, this idea that they were not worthy. With Judgment, they want another chance, and you don't see this, you don't maybe know this, but what is on their mind is having a new opportunity. Remember the whole Easter energy? Well, now we have Judgment. You know, the rebirth, the rising up, you know, the resurrection. Where's the Tower? This person is definitely completing a cycle at this time. We are just getting so many 10s coming out here. You have the Tower being clarified by the Five of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. This Tower, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like this, you know, what is this? Oh my God. Oh, bits, bytes, pixels. It's a very simplistic computer-generated image. But then in it, can you see the red string of fate? I mean, I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. It could be like the lightning bolt strike. I have no idea. It's coming from the sun though. So it's giving me, or the moon, whatever it is, it's just giving me clarity. But it's like that this is a soulmate connection, or that we are bound together, or that we were in each other's lives for a reason. That red string of fate ties us to our soulmates, right? So that we always find them. And you have this energy of the Page of Pentacles with the Five of Cups here. And it's like that realization that this connection was actually way deeper and so much more than I thought it was, or than I realized that it was at the time. And that there's a part of me that will always be connected to you, and that I really regret how I played this, how I handled this. And I have definitely learned my lesson with the Page of Pentacles. And it has been a burdensome journey. But this tower falling, this thing falling apart, it has brought me to the end of a really burdensome cycle. A cycle where I was carrying a lot of wounds from my past, or a lot of burdens or responsibilities that prevented me from being able to open up to this new relationship, or this new connection, or to you on the level that you needed. I was blocked by these burdens or these responsibilities. And now I see that. Now I know that. Now I have clarity on that. And we have the sun also on the bottom of the deck, which is, you know, I have clarity. You are my happiness. Remember, I said, my God, you guys, look at this. I was like, this really reminds me of the sun. I mean, for obvious reasons, right? It's orange and yellow. But look, it's also purple. And this card, look at that. Isn't that crazy? You know, most sun cards don't look like that. But, you know, there's just this sense of, you know, I've learned a great deal from this experience. I am open to clarity. I am open to seeing the truth. I am open to healing. And once we become aware of ourselves, and you know, why we are sort of making the choices we are, or why our life looks the way that it looks, or how we could have mishandled a fated connection so badly, or, you know, made such a mistake, or been in a place to really regret something like that so hardcore. We have the opportunity to heal it. And the sun is also all about healing. It's not just about bringing clarity or shedding something to light or happiness. It is also about healing. And, you know, a lot of times we have to heal so that we can be happy. We have to, there's actually a really amazing quote that says that, but in a really beautiful, deeper way, about why we heal, why we choose to heal. It's so that we can be happy again, so that we can experience the joy of life again. That's why we heal. That's why we do the work, because we are choosing ultimately our own happiness and our own joy, our own fulfillment. But this person is seeing something, is having light shed on something that they were totally unaware of because of this loss, because this thing fell apart. And they do deeply regret it, and they definitely have learned a lesson from it. I'm just going to go one more. My throat is getting tickly and itchy. You have the 9 of Clocks in reverse with the shield upright with the 5 of Mirrors. And then you have the Queen of Ravens on the bottom of the deck. You know, I feel like this person, this is actually really like a 5 of Pentacles energy when it's upright like this. But these cards are the Aliman Tarot. So this is just I feel like this is my intuition. But for me, it's coming across like a shield. And I feel like defensiveness, being defensive, being guarded, about like the Five of Pentacles, which is, you know, all of our basic innate fears, the fear of intimacy, the fear of abandonment, the fear of not being worthy, all of those fears that we all commonly have to one degree or another. It's caused this person to get very defensive in life. And they have this choice, right? But the clock is ticking. Do they want to hold on to this defensiveness and protect them and isolate the way that they have done all of their life? Or do they want to have what they want in their life? You know, do they want to be brave and journey into new territory? And I feel like, you know, with this Five of Mirrors energy, all of these mirrors are broken and cracked. It's like a soulmate like this, like what we're talking about in this reading, is going to show you all the nooks and crannies of yourself, which means that you have an opportunity, if you are willing to sit with the truth and you are willing to expand and grow and be vulnerable and know that you are not perfect and admit that you are not perfect and go from there and move in a direction of being better than you were 5 minutes ago or being better than you were yesterday, then a partner like this is going to be your best opportunity to reach your highest level of enlightenment. You know, a partner like this is going to help you see all of yourself completely, because this is a deep connection. But if you choose to say, I can't handle that, or that's not what I'm looking for in life, I'm not looking for a spiritual, emotional journey, then you can keep your shield up and you can protect yourself from these fears, and you can let time expire on this opportunity. Nobody's going to make you. This is your free will choice, but this is your best chance at happiness. This is your best chance at getting as far as you can in life. And I'm not talking to you, Pisces, because for you, if you gave everything you could to the connection and you did your part, and like this person is the person that was playing chess and checkers instead of just being able to show up and to be able to sit in their truth with you and be authentic and be real, then you're going to get another soulmate. You're going to get another opportunity at something really amazing and deep. But for this person, they're looking at their fate and their destiny, and right now they are making their free will choice about what they're going to do. And you can't choose for them, and you can't influence their decision. This is them coming to the line of what are we going to do? And I feel like there has been something that happened recently that has given them some kind of hope that maybe you are not mad at them. Maybe you told a friend, you know, I have no hard feelings or whatever, and it got back to them. Maybe they reached out to you about something else, and the way that you responded let them know that you're not harboring bad feelings. Like, whatever the case may be, I feel like this person sort of has some idea, and there is hope. But it isn't about you. This is about them. And it is about, are they brave enough to choose this spiritual, emotional existence that will challenge them to see the parts of themselves that are not perfect and that are human and that contain the greatest amount of opportunity for them to grow and expand and reach enlightenment in this body, in this life. And that's what you're offering this person. That's what being with you could be for them. And it's like, are they going to do it? Or are they going to maintain this defensiveness around these fears that everybody has? There's no reason to be defensive about these things. Everybody's afraid of the same damn thing. We all are. We are so much more alike than we will ever be different. All of us. Every single one of you and me and everyone. This person, that person, all of us. We're all spiritual beings having a human existence, and we're all just trying to walk each other home. So let's put down the chessboards. Let's stop fucking around and let's just love each other. Like, what the hell? All right. I don't know where all that came from, but we were talking about Easter. All right. Let me get you guys some message cards. Welcome to June, Pisces. Welcome to June. I think it's going to be a big month for you, for sure. All right, if you're dealing with a water sign, your words speak to me like no others can. Passion. We will be together again. Cold. My karmic story is ending. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you're getting wishy-washy. You hit me out of nowhere. Our eye contact is insane. I want your attention. The changes are real. Guarded. If you are dealing with an earth sign, I can't walk away. I am overcoming my fears. If I had only known then what I know now, I am choosing you. Okay, what is this one? You deserve more. Okay, and blocking. And if you are dealing with an air sign, you give me so much to look forward to. Be patient with me, please. Honest, triggered. And I am sorry I triggered you. All right, Pisces. This is what I have for you. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. Man, what a reading. I really felt that with everything that I am. And so I hope that it does bring some peace and clarity. Until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. I thank you for going on this journey with me every single time that you do, every time you show up. Thank you, thank you. I really, truly, deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.